Okay, so if you're a student, you know that feeling, right? Your to-do list looks like an actual mountain that you can just never seem to climb. You're juggling classes, assignments, maybe even a job, and it just feels like you're constantly running on empty. Well, this explainer is for you. We're going to break down a really simple but powerful way to build a better routine and take back control, one tiny little step at a time.
Oh man, we've all been there. That huge paper is due, exams are just around the corner, and you tell yourself, okay, I'll start as soon as I feel motivated. Or maybe I'll get serious right after this week is over. But what if I told you that perfect time, well, it just doesn't exist? What if that way of thinking is actually a trap, and it's the very thing holding you back?
So, let's start by blowing up a huge misconception about success and productivity. The source material calls it the motivation trap, and it's this core belief that you have to feel inspired before you can get anything done. But what we're about to find out is that it's actually the other way around.
You know, we always fixate on the big stuff, right? The milestones, getting that A+, graduating, landing that dream internship. We see them as these huge pillars that define our success. But here's the thing. The whole argument here is that our future isn't really shaped by those big, flashy wins. It's built by something much, much smaller and way more frequent.
Okay, so if it's not the big stuff, then what is it? Well, it all comes down to the thousands of tiny choices you make every single day. So let's take a look at how two seemingly small approaches can actually create two completely different futures.
So picture this. On one side, you've got the student who's just waiting for that bolt of lightning, that motivation to hit. And when it doesn't show up, they complain about how much work they have. Then on the other side, you have the student who just acts. They don't wait for inspiration, they get their books ready the night before. And when things get tough, they don't complain, they just adjust the plan. They seem like such small things, don't they? But trust me, over time, they make all the difference in the world.
And that's where the real magic or the real danger happens. Each of those tiny choices, to review your notes or to just scroll on your phone, to pack your gym bag or just leave it for the morning, it sets you on a course. And over weeks and months and a whole semester, these little decisions start to compound. It's like two train tracks slowly splitting apart, one headed for success and the other, well, for a whole lot of stress.
All right, so how do we make sure we're on the right track, the good one? Well, the answer isn't about finding more willpower or somehow magically creating more hours in the day. It's all about harnessing this incredible power of something called microhabits. Okay, this is the key. A microhabit is an action that is so tiny, so small, it feels almost ridiculous not to do it. So, instead of study for 3 hours, it's just open your textbook, that's it. Instead of write a whole essay, it's write just one sentence. It's not go for a 30-minute run, it's just put on your running shoes. See? The whole goal is to make the act of starting completely frictionless. Man, I love this quote. It just nails it, doesn't it? These little, seemingly ordinary actions are like planting seeds. You don't see the tree overnight, but if you keep doing them consistently, they grow, and then they literally explode into these amazing results you've been hoping for.
Okay, so we get the what and the why. Now let's get practical. How do you actually do this? How do you build this into your already crazy student schedule? It's actually a really simple 3-step process. First, you just choose a goal, something like, I want to be more prepared for my chemistry class. Second, you shrink the action until it's just laughably easy. Not review the whole chapter, but maybe read one paragraph. Or if you want to learn a language, it's not master 20 new words, it's learn one new word. And number 3, and this is super important, you anchor it. You chain this new tiny habit to something you already do without thinking, like right after you brush your teeth or the second you finish dinner.
Okay, let's make this real. Let's say your goal is to stay on top of your lecture notes. Instead of trying to find a whole hour to study, you commit to this tiny habit. Just 2 minutes. That's it, 2 minutes of reviewing your notes right after dinner, every day. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. 2 minutes? What's that going to do? It sounds like nothing, right? Well, think again. Those 2 minutes a day, when they compound over a typical 15-week semester, add up to a whopping 10 full hours of focused review time. 10 hours! That, my friends, is the difference between a last-minute panic cram session and walking into that final exam feeling cool, calm, and totally confident. And it all came from an action that took basically zero motivation to start.
And this right here is maybe the most powerful idea of all. Because when you really get the power of microhabits, you start to realize you're not just a passenger getting taken for a ride in your own life. No way. You're actually in the driver's seat.
So let's just pull this all together. Your life, your grades, your well-being, they aren't defined by a few heroic all-night study sessions. Nope. They're the sum total of all those tiny little things you do every single day, especially when no one is watching. That is what truly shapes your reality.
I really want you to think about this for a second. Every time you do one of these tiny positive things, opening that book, writing that one sentence, packing a healthy lunch, you're basically signing a contract with your future self. It's a signature that says, yep, I'm committed to becoming the person I want to be. Each little signature makes that future more and more real. You are the author, and these habits, they're your pen.
So, it really only leaves one question, doesn't it? What are you going to sign today? You don't have to change everything at once. You just have to make one tiny signature. Just one. So what's the one ridiculously small action you're going to take today to start building the future you actually deserve?